But there's this lovely thing where you're touring on the 22, 23 shows over 90 dates. You played six songs, six brand new songs.
Mm.
So those songs have sort of seeped into the audience's consciousness. I mean, did playing them live shape them?
Yeah, it has. That has been strange. We've done that a few times over the years, particularly in the early days. Funny enough, when we'd be writing songs as a band and playing them, and I'd be just having a couple of beers and going out on stage and just singing whatever came into my head. A lot of bands do that, whether they admit to it or not. And sometimes you think, I'd get them to record it out front, and I'd listen back and I think that's a really good line. Some of the songs from 17 Seconds were written like that. Some of the Faith songs were written like that. But as you become more popular and the audiences get bigger, you're less inclined to go out on stage and just like jabber into the mic. It takes more than a couple of beers. I'm not sure. That I, playing the songs, we'd already recorded them and I'd already sung the songs, so we knew what we were doing. So they were actually like within Cure World, the new songs were part of the repertoire, and that this is what we were going to play. And it was weird going out because I thought, right, will I get better at this? Will the songs develop? Will they become something else? Having already done vocals actually so 5 of them are on the album of the 6 that we did, and of those 3 of them, I thought I won't get any better than that because the vocals were very raw. They were written and sung, and they were kind of in a genuine emotional state. And I thought, but it's one of those strange things with songs. When you record a song, it becomes the defining version. And sometimes it's a bit of a millstone, because you record stuff in the studio and you've never. Often, in the early days, I'd be writing songs and then singing them first take, and that's it. And then you go out and like in a year later, you listen back and you think, really, it's like it's awful. So this allowed me to sing, like night after night these songs, and also more important, I think, to gauge the audience's reaction and to see how far I could push it, like emotionally, like vocally, and the band also really grew into the songs. We were playing the songs a lot better than when we recorded them, I have to admit, and we did redo quite a bit of it. Simon, I think, replayed everything, actually, and Reeves. I spent a few more days with Reeves doing other things because he was suddenly playing stuff on stage. Reeves is a kind of guitarist that, like, if he's got people in front of him, he plays in a totally different way than in the studio. He's just like much more expansive and reacts to the live environment. So capturing that was important. But as it turned out, at the end of it, I did after the European leg of the tour, I did re-sing everything at home. I did all the vocals at home, and I re-sang everything. And when we came to mix the album, I preferred the original vocals on all of them, because there's something about them that was very, like I said earlier, just raw. It just like I think I sang them better than some nights on tour, and I think some of the defining versions of those songs actually happened live, but it seemed wrong somehow to go back and meddle with what I'd already done. I don't know. It's the live versions are there, when we were bootlegged, the most bootleg band I think in history. But so all those versions are out there. So I thought this version, particularly of Alone, the opening song and end song, and I Can Never Say Goodbye, that those 3 songs in particular, I didn't, even though I felt like I was singing them better, whatever that means, after the tour, they didn't have that something that the original vocals that I did had. I don't know. So
It's a weird thing, is it? It's almost like after you've done it once, everything else is a cover version of the first version you've done, sort of.
it almost always is, which is why it's strange that we were able to have this option to play it like over and over and over, and then I still ended up like preferring the first version. I did change some of the songs after the tour. Weirdly enough, some of the songs that we didn't play, because I realised why we hadn't included all the songs into the repertoire, and I looked at and then the three other songs that are on the album were changed because of the 5 songs that we have been playing, and the 6th song that we did, it will be on the next one. So it's Yeah, it's an interesting process. It's also strange that it's a new album, but Cure fans kind of know more than half the album, which is that's odd in itself. You know.